because this causes so I'm assuming you talk to a lot of people about this. My assumption would be that people, and my assumption would be that people would be, what I'm curious to know is, do people actually give you like a lot of these intellectual reasons when you talk to them about eating meat? My assumption would be that, like, when even when I was discussing this with Personam and some other friends friends of mine who are vegan, I'm generally mea culpa here. I just say, obviously I'm wrong here, but I'm just not able to take the leap. I'm just trying to understand, like, do people actually kind of justify this in general, or is it mostly that we know, we know it's hard, but it's difficult for us to quit meat. That it's not an argument at all, but you know where I'm coming from, right? Something like that.
Yeah, that's a great question. And so there is one which is accepting the issue as important, which is acknowledging that what's happening to animals is immoral and unjust and needs to change. And the second is, okay, once you acknowledge it, do you actually stop participating in it? These are two different questions. And for the first one, yes, when I engage with people on this issue, a lot of these reasons that I mentioned, and there are also other reasons. For example, if you talk about exploitation in a specific domain, let's say not eating meat, there's common questions that come up about, okay, will I get all my nutrition required for having a healthy life if I give up on participating in the exploitation of animals for food? Sometimes if it's for clothing, like let's say for wool, there's some misconceptions about the necessity of using wool as the only material to keep ourselves warm. Or like when I talk about the exploitation of animals in surfaces, again, there's things like they don't feel suffering, in some sense trying to gaslight the experience of animals and say that, oh, they perhaps are enjoying being exploited. There's like a whole host of responses that I get. I presented 3 common responses in the earlier question, which is of intelligence, special relationship, and argument from might. But there's others that come up as well. I also have friends who have now acknowledged that what is happening is extremely unjust. Animals are being exploited in trillions, and there's many other animals in the wild that are suffering as well. And they need our help. They need our action to stop that suffering or to reduce that suffering. Once they acknowledge that, then the next question is, how do they align their actions to their attitudes? It is hard. I can acknowledge that, because yes, meat eating or a lot of these actions that we engage in which harm animals are so ingrained and integrated into our society and into our habits, where changing it can be of differing levels of difficulty for different kinds of people. For example, for someone who's already not consuming dairy in their lives, perhaps going vegan is an easier step. Whereas someone who's working in this industry, to go vegan and to give all of that up requires a lot more effort.